Did you ever want to know more about our ATN guys, where they started, what they've sacrificed to get where they are, how their families and friends judge them? Well, you're in luck. Today I caught up with Ast and Mask to find out these secrets and more. Thanks for joining today, Ast and Mask. Now, I think the easiest way to start off with this is from the basics, from the starts. How did you find out about Clash of Clans? What brought you to play this game? And what made you decide to play it professionally?
I started playing Clash of Clans when I was very, very young. I was actually in maybe my 7th year of school.
So I started playing Clash of Clans around 7-8 years ago.
And I was like in a school trip with my friends, and all of them were playing to this game, which was Clash of Clans, and they were super interested in it. They were like, oh, I'm upgrading my town hall, I finally unlocked my Dark Elixir, I can now get my hero, my king. And I was like looking at them, and I really wanted to have it, but I didn't have a mobile phone yet. It was not even yeah, I remember they were playing on their iPods. But after I came back from the school trip, I went right away to my mother, and I took her iPad, and I downloaded the Clash of Clans because it was only for iOS devices, I think, and I downloaded Clash of Clans.
It was just a game to sometimes play on the phone. I just like strategy games and games that involve a lot of logic, and Clash of Clans was one of those, and that's why I got hooked into the game, I think.
Yeah, this is not like how I came into Clash of Clans. I was one of those guys that always want to be the best among their friends and so on, so I started grinding like a lot into it. I was always playing that, like actually way too much, especially considering I was basically sniping outside town halls for the whole day.
And it was just a hobby for like 5 years or so. But yeah, then I just increased the amount that I was playing slowly. I was pretty good at it and I enjoyed it a lot. So at the end I just ended up doing more and more competitions because I really enjoy competing. And then at the end I finally found some good people to play with and got into the competitive scene.
Like my mother wanted her iPad back and didn't want me allowed to play, but I really wanted to playing it like a lot. And yeah, this was like the very start.
So it seems a competitive bug is really what gets most of these pro players into this. So what were the first competitions that you actually got started in?
The first big tournaments, like I played the 30 versus 30 no dip league tournaments, and
I started to train myself, join more and more competitive clans. Came to a point where finally started to exist, to be created some competitions, such as the CWL. I think CWL was one of the first competitive competitions, we can say, for Clash.
And stuff like this, but the first like esport tournaments was probably EWU, the first seasons, and then the Town Hall Cups. Town Hall Cups is kind of where I got to know the people that I play with nowadays.
So how exactly did your career start, and when did you decide that you really wanted to pursue this competitive side more professionally?
And I started playing over there. I joined a bunch of clans. I remember Spartan's Legacy. I joined Clan Tanamo Bay. Maybe that was my first one. And also I joined Forbidden. A lot of good guys. Also Iron, for example, and Bob. But the way to go to professional playing is like a lot more. Like during these years, of course, as everybody, like after 7 years around, so want some pauses from the game. So I quit actually. And for example, the last time I quit, it was for like 2 years. So I just came back with COVID. Everybody had to stay at home the whole day for 3 months. Yeah, that's where I started playing Clash again. Why? Because a friend told me that there were like in-game prizes, and I thought myself, okay, like let's take the challenge. Let's try to get them.
So Vale, Yo-Yo, Sir Iron, and I was part of the team that won the Town Hall 7 Cup and the Town Hall 9 Cup, and that's that's pretty much how I got into the competitive scene like fully, and then I got the thought that I could actually be a pro in this, and luckily it turned out to work out with this amazing team that we have nowadays.
And so I started playing again. I started farming, like I've never farmed before, honestly. Yeah, it took me some time, of course, to get back into the meta game, because it was so much different since when I had quit. That was Town Hall 12. So I started slowly, also with lower town halls, just to take the hand. Yeah, then started joining some very good teams. That's maybe where I thought I can play it professionally. There were some money. We, with my team MNG, we won some of them. And then I got contacted by Dance, which is a even more professional team, and then alternate. At this point, when a sponsored team's organization started to contact me, I thought, okay, now I'm playing it professionally.
It sounds like a pretty packed schedule for pro players. So were there any adjustments that you had to make in your schedule? How did you adapt to this? And did you have to quit anything in order to make this work?
Nowadays, my routine is pretty much that I do legend hits at whatever time of the day that I have time to do that.
When I was younger, I was investing or maybe wasting a lot of time, like really a lot. Like I was addicted completely to this game, maybe more than I am now. So this is kind of impressive. In fact, as I said, I was like literally wasting my whole day to just snipe the outside town halls that were there. I wanted to climb up as a town hall 7 or 8 I was. Like there was this clan we called Savage 7, where there were all the town hall 7 at the Titan League maybe, where town hall 7 usually stand by Crystal. And I had in my mind I want to get there, so I was literally wasting all my day, but like it's not like playing, it was more like skipping back to back, so stay there even 30 minutes just to then do a 30-second attack with 3 archers. So I was playing definitely too much. That's why my mother came to a point where she had to put timer on, so I couldn't play too much, so that she could stop me. And I remember cheating and I was like adding time to the timer to play even more. I was really addicted. And this is when I was very low. And then, of course, even before coming professional, I play like a lot to get better at the game. I remember like in CWL, when it was still competitive but not professional, I was like playing an insanely amount of time, like really hours and hours in voice chat. Maybe that was one of the times where I had the most fun, because the game was super hard, so you actually had to put a lot of time into it.
Usually in the evening before going to sleep, because that's usually when everything else is done and I have time by myself to just play some Clash. But like normal schedule, I would do my legend hits in the evening. Some days we have matches, some not, but the matches are usually in the evening around 7 to 9 o'clock, sometimes to 10 o'clock, and then just some base testing, sometimes legend hits during the day, and studying in college now. So I spend most of my time during the day for school.
Like now, I still play a lot, of course, but it's completely different. Now I play a lot, but not really to train or to, because you need too much time to play. Now I play a lot because there's other stuff, simply. There's more preparation needed, just because the game developed in this way. So yeah, this is like a little comparison, but at the end it's still a lot of time. If I have to make numbers, I would say before I could play 8 to 10 hours a day. Now I play less actually, unless there's a specific period, then I can play also 12 hours in a day. So when you're playing professionally, you kind of have to be free. It's not like you can schedule something when you have to play. Like let's say someone says, okay, I'm up for testing, then I play in that moment. When there's nothing, there's no wars, there's no preparation, then I just basically do something else. And I save the time for playing later when I don't have anything else to do. And maybe like just now, in these days of holidays, I have some little schedule, meaning that I just do legends when I wake up, so that I don't have to do it later, because it's 1 full hour. But basically, yeah, I have no routine. I just play whenever I feel like, whenever there's need, and yeah, just try to plan the rest of my life around it. And like we can say, like this planning around is a little bit of sacrifice for sure, because you have to do some little sacrifice to play at this level. It's not like I sacrificed anything crazy, but sometimes, for example, I have to adapt to it. So, for example, if we play during the late night, then the previous day I have to go to sleep very early to make sure I wake up and I am actually, I don't know, if I have to play in the morning, then maybe I have to skip school. This is not something it happens every day. It's maybe something very rare, something very randomly. Then we also try to organize and we ask each other if we can or cannot play in a certain day. So if I have a visit and I really cannot skip it, of course I will never tell, okay, I skip it because I have to play. It's not like that. Like there are still some priorities. How Clash affects my life, but it's nothing too crazy. It's not like I stop going to school. It's not like I stop doing sport. It's not like I stop doing what I do regularly. Okay.
When I got into the competitive and pro scene, I had to invest a lot more time into it. So I had to take the time from something else I was doing. So I definitely have some things that I will enjoy doing after my Clash career is over. I'm still keeping like the sports and school and relationship stuff, even though I don't have the time I would like to have for those, but I'm still keeping everything there and investing as much time to those as I just can. But like I haven't really dipped out from anything because of Clash. I feel like it wouldn't be the right thing to cut out something special in your life just because of kind of a job or being a pro player.
Okay, the question that we all want to know. Do your parents judge you? How do they feel about your career as a professional player? And were there any differences from when you started versus where you are now in how they feel about it?
And my parents also, at the start, they were really not convinced about this. Like they were actually very scared for me. They thought I couldn't manage it. I would end up being one of those guys that are not social at all, that always stay inside at home to play. I mean, at the start, maybe I even was when I was very young.
At the start, my parents weren't too supportive towards playing any kind of games, and the focus was more on school. But now that we actually pretty good at the game and I can make some money with it, that's the point where kind of my parents turned their jacket around and started supporting me.
But now I grew up, of course, I learned how to manage my time. And yeah, I'm going well at school, and this is for sure a plus for them. So they are less afraid for sure, and also I can somehow set up my day to do everything. So this is something I really like. And this is something that I learned to do, and since when I do this, they are more convinced about it. So they are not saying anymore, oh, you should stop it, or you should play less. They don't do that because they see I can organize myself.
I guess that's the same story for most of the young guys that started playing at home, and the parents are usually just pushing for school and saying that there's no future or there's no future for you in gaming probably, or the probability for future in gaming is so small that it's just more important to keep pushing for the normal job things.
They know it's my passion. They maybe don't agree, they don't like it, but sometimes I'm very happy and I say, oh, we won, and they try to I don't know what to say, to be happy for me, let's say like this.
Well, I think that sentiment goes across the board for many gamers out there in the industry. But, you know, for the aTTaX guys, for you guys, it's great to see that you're keeping not only on focus with your gameplay and playing at that high level, but you're keeping your lives in order, that you are making the priorities needed to also continue with your education. And I think that just goes to show, to be at that high level, you have to work hard and play hard as well. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. And that's about it for our Secrets Revealed.